Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Katrina Ness, Vanessa Collins, and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings, Vanessa Collins, and Katrina Ness.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable's After Dark show. My name is Vanessa Collins, and I am joined by the amazing Ted Ings, my peer at Northwood University, Katrina Ness, and the CEO of Dealer Planning, Cesar Augustus.
Cesar and Katrina and Vanessa, welcome tonight. Cesar, I love that hat.
Thank you, Ted. Good to see you guys again. Vanessa and Katrina, great to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you. So nice to meet you this evening.
Cesar, Katrina, has been with the Fixed Ops Roundtable since the very, very first day. In fact, it was the day before the very first one in New York City. I got a phone call, a cell phone call, and my office put the call through, and he said, "My name is Cesar Augustus." I said, "Say that again?" He goes, "Cesar Augustus." And I'm in Chicago. And I hear you got an event tomorrow in New York, and do you mind if I fly in for the meeting? I go, absolutely. And he says, I have a company. We scan documents for dealers. And he flew in from Chicago the morning into LaGuardia Airport. Cesar, I think you told me the taxi costs more than the air flight. Is that right?
That's exactly the Uber's ride from LaGuardia to your office in New York City was a lot more than the flight from Chicago to New York, which is kind of interesting.
But Cesar, that was an amazing day, and what it's grown to since that time.
Oh, that was beautiful. It was about 40 or 50 of us crammed in into a conference room, and I think it was more than we expected, Ted. And all the stuff that's happened ever since, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, in fact, Vanessa, the story is I almost got kicked out. I almost lost my lease that day because so many of us were in that conference room and we're so loud on the floor that people kept coming in and saying, "Hey, keep it down in there," right? But Cesar, we had people spilling out into the hall. Clint, good evening. Sean Kingery, good evening as well. And Cesar, it's just, amazing to see what's happened.
Yes, and the friendships that we've made and connections, and we helped each other out in the ever since then. Everyone's helped each other out, and it's great to see all of us grow and the industry grow.
We have, and you've been with us at every Fixed Ops Roundtable. Can you believe we have number 23 coming up?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so a whole lot going on, everybody. I want to thank tonight BG Products, our exclusive sponsor, your partner beyond products for all they do for the Fixed Ops community and the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Very grateful to have them. And Katrina, in just, I think it's 6 or 7 weeks, we have a big event coming up. Tell us about that.
Yep. So this is our next big event. It will be January 29th through February 1st. And it's going to come up a lot sooner than you think. So make sure you get your complimentary tickets at fixedopsroundtable.com right now before you miss your chance.
Yep. All right. So a lot going on. And Cesar, you see, everybody up there is a sir, like Sir Ed Roberts, and Lady Sarah Van Tyne.
Yeah.
So, how about that?
Your level of creativity amazes me, man. It's unbelievable, Ted.
And Cesar, you also came to the very first pop-up event that we did in Florida.
Hey, man, whenever you tell me to do something, I just say, when Ted tells you jump, you say how high, and it's been great to help Ted grow in this process, and obviously us grow as well. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was live. That was actually really scary to do that big
I
event.
always get to do the live events, man.
Right? Sean Butler, happy Wednesday to you, my friend. I spoke to Santa earlier today. Sean Butler, we have something special coming up with a couple holiday shows for you. Fun. I understand Santa has something coming up as well. David Lucas, we're going to see you next Wednesday on the show. So, Cesar, next Wednesday, we're doing a Taste of Australia on the show.
Oh, my God.
Katrina and Vanessa. David will be coming in live from Australia, where it'll be Thursday morning, and we're going to taste some foods from Australia. And we got a couple specialties in store. Vince, good evening. There we go. The story of the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And Sean, that is amazing. And you're right behind him, Sean. So a lot of great stuff there, and a lot of things happening in our industry. So thank you, Sean. So my daughter,
Sean.
Sean, my daughter came over the house after Thanksgiving, and the first thing she said to me was, "Let me see the ring. Let me see the ring. I want to wear it." And she goes, "This thing is really heavy." So it's a bit ostentatious. So, all right. All right. So, Caesar, take it away. You got a lot to talk about tonight with dealer scanning and some of the charitable things you're doing around the country. Tell us a little bit about, first of all, dealer scanning and what you've been up to.
Yeah, no, it's been an incredible year. As some of you know, I mean, most of you know, and those that you don't know, we are the best document scanning company in the country, in the industry. And we have a simple to use product that makes dealerships' lives easy. Our bread and butter is making sure those repair orders are scanned and safely stored in our cloud storage, and make it easy for your service advisors, anyone at the dealership, to pull up the repair order without having to, frankly, waste hours looking for a repair order in the file storage room.
Caesar, come on! This is the end of 2023. Is that still necessary?
Around
the country.
Some people, everyone knows someone in their family that's late to adjust to technology, right? There's people still watching movies on VHS. There's still people using landlines. People don't adapt well, and it's the same story for the auto industry. These are the examples of our dealerships that, believe it or not, are still paper filing. I just got a call from a big dealer that I've been knocking on their door for 5 years, and they called me the other day. 5 years later, I've gotten dealers, one in Michigan lately, that they talked about document scanning for 10 years. It's the truth. People are slow to adjust. So there's about 30 to 35% of the auto dealers that are still paper filing, which is kind of unbelievable, but it's good for business.
So how is document scanning more efficient than traditional methods, like having boxes and boxes and so many papers in your dealership? Because I don't think it's obvious enough.
You know what, Katrina, is so true, because it's not obvious enough, right? So just to walk you through a simple example. Let's say that you have a repair order. So you closed the repair order 6 months ago, and it was filed and it was taken to the file room, and it was put into one of these boxes. 6 months later, let's say the customer comes back, or let's say, God forbid, your dealership's under audit, and you have to go pull that repair order. Well, what happens if that person misplaced that repair order?
Ooh.
You're never going to find it.
Never.
And you have dealers that are taking hours, and you know this to be true, Ted. It takes hours to find one of these repair orders. And that's just time that's wasted. Instead of spending it with the clients, instead of spending it in revenue producing tasks, you spend it in things that are, quite frankly, a waste of time. And employee morale, who wants to be in a file room looking for a piece of paper? No one wants to do that. With our system, you simply scan, easily go into our portal, you look up by the repair order number, last 6 of the VIN, customer name, and it comes up in less than a couple of seconds.
That's awesome.
Believe it or not, some people don't believe this, and that's why 35% of the auto dealers are still paper filing.
But then I go to my dentist and I go to my orthodontist and my eye doctor, and they have the same setup. They have all these files on the wall. So I feel like every industry should get behind this. You need to expand, go outside of the car business, go into every industry in the world, because honestly, everything's moving online and you can see the efficiency of it.
You're exactly right. And you'd be amazed. There's just, I have dealers that literally tell me, we just don't want to change. We've done it this way for 40 years.
Yeah.
We've done it for 50 years. Okay. And the controller or the GM, it's going to their 80s, and they just don't want to change. And there's just those type of personalities that are true in the personal world and obviously true in business.
That is amazing, Caesar. That, again, this is actually occurring today, and that it is still, you still got to go in and you actually got to sell this thing, don't you?
It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, I got a call from a dealer that I've been knocking on the doors for 5 years. And I said, wow, you finally called. They're like, oh, yeah, well, someone said you guys are really good. They're finally coming on board. It's the reality.
Okay,
And
now
you-
is your system tough to use? By the way, is it difficult? I'm just curious.
No, this is the magic of our system. You basically just click a button and it scans the repair order, and that is it. You will read the repair order number off of the document, and it puts it into our system. And the reason we made it this way is so that anyone at the dealership can scan it. You can give it to a receptionist while they're answering their phones. You can give it to a cashier, or you can even give it to their service advisors that are busy flying around helping customers, but all they have to do is load up the document and click a button, and that works. So we're about volume and making this as simple as it can be.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So that is that part of it kind of seamlessly integrating into the dealership and contributing to like the streamlined workflow, or is there something else as well that helps it seamlessly integrate into the dealership?
Yeah. So a little bit about me. I studied computer science and I went to school to learn this. And I went when I was a senior in college. I was hired by JM Lexus down in JM Family. So it used to be the largest Lexus dealership in the world. And I learned to use the DMS systems. Back then it was Reynolds and Reynolds. Later on, they moved to CDK. And I learned how to use that from a programmer's, point of view, which allowed us to integrate into and find out how can we help the scanning process by working with the dealership data, working with all the DMSs, and giving our clients the best reporting tool available in the industry. So what does that mean? Basically, what we provide, and no one else provides this, is that let's say that at your dealership, you closed 1,000 repair orders. Well, you're hoping you scan 1,000 repair orders, but the reality is that you might only scan 900 and you're missing 100. Well, our reporting and our integration with the DMS gives you that snapshot of what's going on, how many repair orders have closed, how many are scanned, how many are missing, and most importantly, which of those are warranty repair orders.
So Clint, I was kind of prepared for your question tonight. So a little backstory. I'm in a dealership doing some training, Vanessa, in Albany, New York, the DePaula Auto dealerships. And who do I bump into while I'm doing training? It's Caesar. Okay. Like 6 months after we did the first Fix Ops Roundtable, I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm installing the scanning system. I go, you are? He goes, yeah, right now I'm showing everyone how it works. I go, can I take a video, Clint, of how it works? So Clint, this is for you. This is how the scanning system actually works.
What's up? I'm here at the Pola Chevrolet. We're just installing the new scanning unit. I'm showing the ladies how to scan a repair order. It's so simple. You basically take your typical repair order, put it on the scanner, bring up the scanning application, click on the scan repair order. It's gonna scan the front and back. If there's any pages that are stuck together, it'll tell you that they're stuck together. Or if there are any multi-feeds, it'll tell you. Nice. So right now, all you have to do is put in the repair order number, 731-864.
Okay. So now it's in there.
Yep.
So now how
click
do we...
OK, you click view. You can review the contents of the repair order very
right
easily. It's right
Excellent.
there. And you have this small battery test receipts. Just put them on the side and click scan other items. It just adds it to the repair.
And that
order.
won't get stuck in there.
It won't get stuck. But if it does, it'll tell you, and it's very easy. We'll test one out, but you can view it. And what I'm going to do later on is I'm going to add a viewer to your machines so that everyone can look it up by repair order number, big number, customer name.
That'll be great.
That's it.
Okay.
It is that simple. I'm done, man. I can go back to West Palm Beach now.
That is
It's Caesar, it's that simple. How many pages a minute does it scan? And does it do front and back?
Yes, 70 pages a minute, front and back. Very easy. And we provide life warranty on that equipment. So if anything breaks, we basically overnight FedEx it, and it's yours.
That is so efficient. That's amazing.
Such a great service too.
And then, with Ted, you got to be ready for action because you'll bust out that cell phone and start recording, and
Oh yeah.
5 years later, there you are, man. You're showing the video.
I'm ready to go live, man, at any moment.
I know.
So, so yeah, and there you go, Clint. Boom, right there it is. So, yeah, and he's right. Even he could do that. So, yeah. So, Caesar, not very complicated, actually, marvelously simplistic in how it works, but it's so effective and it's easy. And you worked out this over a long period of time from your history in software that you worked out all the wrinkles before you ever took it out to a store.
Correct, and it's just the simplicity of it that keeps clients happy, and it makes it quite frankly, it allows us to keep our prices low, and it allows us to offer just value constantly, and because of the simplicity. So we get very few calls, customer service calls, because we're not making that person become a scanning analyst. They're just going through the workflow and scanning as much as they can. And with our reporting, it allows us to give you that peace of mind that things are getting scanned. And then the service manager is not micromanaging the scanning person. So there's accountability in both ways, and it just works.
Wow.
So
It's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
And Caesar, you've been rolling this thing out. Caesar, it must be very expensive to get this system in my store.
it is.
I'm giving them all the softballs to hit tonight. Go ahead.
So we have an incredible offer. It's $500 a month, unlimited scanning, lifetime warranty on the equipment. If anything happens, we replace that equipment. But more importantly, it's a month-to-month agreement, so we don't hold you on a 3 to 5 year, a 3-year contract. And even more importantly, Ted and Vanessa, is that the data always belongs to the dealership. What does that mean? If the dealership ever leaves, because the people do leave because they change companies and they change DMSs, you let us know and we'll give you all your data. No ransom fees. We basically, we believe that it's the dealership's data. So unfortunately, with other companies, that data, the dealership has to pay. And so we don't play that. And it makes it easy. We get lots of referrals from dealers that left us because people ask them and they're like, oh, go to dealer scanning. So
Caesar, tonight you're meeting 2 young ladies who are going to be very high up in the automotive industry, likely running some of these companies. All right.
Yes.
So you've got some big introductions tonight, and dealer scanning has its foot in the door already.
I know. I'm excited. Yes.
So, yeah.
Please remember the guy with the funny hat.
If Antler's on now, the hat.
He switched it.
But everyone, there's so much more to Caesar Augustus that I didn't know when I first met him, and I've learned over the years. We talked about, he's been involved with Tony Robbins for a long time, actually helping with the events and actually adding to the Fixed Ops Roundtable with, why don't we try this? Let's try that. Let's change this up, especially when the world changed 3.5 years ago. But Caesar also has a big heart, and he gives back. Whenever we get around a charity, which we've done a lot of in the last couple of years, Caesar is always the first one to donate, the first one to get things started. And he's doing a lot of charitable work around the world, which I know he doesn't like to necessarily, talk about. But Caesar, I'm going to ask you to share some of that tonight, because I don't think a lot of people know that the work you do at Dealer Scanning benefits youth all around the world. And talk to us tonight. And I've got some pictures to show as well to kind of help tell your story.
Yeah, thank you, Ted. Yes, it's almost like you get to learn to, you were taught to be humble, but then if you don't tell people your plans, then, how can you make it bigger? So years ago, I'm a huge soccer fan. I'm originally from Colombia, and I'm a huge soccer fan, and I am a computer geek. And so a couple of years ago, we started a nonprofit, a soccer and technology academy in a very, very neglected area of Colombia. And we're basically taking kids off the streets, and we're giving them professional coaches, and we're teaching them the skills that you learn through working in a team environment. But we're also teaching them some values. We have them read some pretty cool books like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective teens, the 4 agreements. We're actually we're one of the few. Ted, this is pretty cool. We're one of the few soccer organizations that brings the book to the soccer field. So our kids, before practice, they read part of the book and they talk about the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, or the 4 agreements. We're about, and these pictures here of our young ladies. We have about 60 young ladies aged from 6 to 16. And, we have 2 wonderful young ladies here. Our goal is to make sure these young girls don't get pregnant by the time they're 16 or 17. So by providing them an environment that they can trust and they can thrive, they can, learn about a lot of the things that they don't learn at home or even in school. So we're helping them through that. This picture here is of a team that was able to travel to Cartagena, and these kids had never seen the ocean, and it was their first time ever visiting the ocean. And it was great because they won a state championship and they were able to play in the national championship. And these are 13 of our kids, boys and girls, that were able to make it. So it is just an opportunity to give back. We are going to, this year, we're going to launch our English education part of the project, which we're going to bring an English teacher to the soccer field so that before practice, these kids can learn English. And the reason is that we want to teach them English because English is the universal language. Mm-hmm. We want to teach them technology skills because we want these kids to be equipped with the skill sets so that when they graduate high school, they can continue on to college and then they can work from down there. So they don't have to leave their countries. They don't have to leave their communities. And if they become valuable through speaking English and having technology skills, then they can be a benefit to all. So we're just excited. It's the project keeps growing. We've had partners. We're in plans to launch this in Brazil with one of our friends, Marcos Rossi. We have plans to launch this in Jamaica and Mexico. So it's growing, and it's part of the work we do. But it's because we have all these dealerships that, believe it or not, have a huge impact in this. Just scanning paper, like I said, document scanning might not be exciting, but the work gets done and the impact is huge for hundreds of kids down in Colombia now.
I want to ask you about Marcos Rossi in just a moment, because he was our keynote speaker a year ago. And I know how you and he met through Tony Robbins, and Marcos has an incredible story. But before I do, real quick, part of the story is also that you are equipping these young people with things such as athletic shoes. Talk to us about that, because that's been a big part of your mission. And I don't think a lot of people know what you're doing there.
Yeah. So, man, we've I like to say someone's garbage, it's another man's treasure. And here in the United States, we're just so blessed with the abundance that most of us have. And a lot of kids here play soccer a couple of weeks, couple of months, and those cleats go into the attics or the garages. So we have little brigades around the country that pick up used soccer cleats, and we ship them down to Colombia. And some of these kids are playing barefooted. And we've delivered over $50,000 worth of cleats to boys and girls, and it's just amazing. I mean, the impact goes both ways, because a lot of the kids here know that those cleats are being used by a kid that needs them. So we're teaching the kids here to be in contribution, and then we're teaching the kids down there that someone cares, and that matters, that they're being seen, and they're proud to wear the kids' shoes, and they say, I'm going to score a goal on behalf of this kid or that soccer team. It's just beautiful, man. There's the kindness of people that provide gifts, that not only cleats, but support, money, all the things that make this happen. So it's just a blessing.
That's so awesome. So why such a big focus on giving back, and why soccer in general?
So, the secret to living is giving. There's an energy vibration about giving. And, I come from a Christian framework. I was taught tithing. Some people don't have that experience, but that doesn't mean that you cannot. That doesn't mean that the giving shouldn't be part of someone's life. So our focus is to just share the resources that God has given us, and be good stewards of that. And I believe there's an energy, a positive energy that supports life. So the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, supports that which supports the universe. By giving, you're just helping creation unfold. I truly believe that, and that's the philosophy of our company, our team members. And it's just, it's even, we see the results, we see the impact, and it's just an opportunity to keep growing, and the impact on these kids and these families just make it all worth it. So it's just a blessing.
And Cesar sees things where others do not see them yet. About a year and a half ago, Katrina, he approached me. He said, I have a gentleman. I'd like to have him speak at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. He's not an automotive, but he's a visionary. He's a great speaker. He's a professional speaker, motivational speaker around the world. He speaks with Tony Robbins. He's an athlete. He's a DJ. He's all these things. I go, fascinating. And he goes, let me show you his picture. And it was Marco Rossi. Marco Rossi is in a wheelchair and has no arms and has no legs. And I said, Cesar, you just told me this is an athlete, a swimmer, a DJ, a motivational speaker. He goes, that's right. He goes, I'd like him to speak at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I said, all right, let's have him be the keynote speaker. And he came on as a keynote speaker. And that was, Cesar, probably one of the most incredible keynotes we ever had. One of the most motivating and emotional ones I can ever remember. And he brought everybody on with him. And let me tell you something, I'll never forget that. And I thank you for all you've done also, to help change his life, and make him more mobile as well, and others, all around the world, and things you've done.
Yeah, no, Marcos is an incredible human being. He's actually here this week in West Palm Beach, so we're hosting him, and he just magnifies the gratitude that we have. I mean, I learned to thank God for my hands, my legs. Marcos, every morning, we feed him breakfast. This morning I had to shave him because he's here with his assistant, who's his 15-year-old son, and he's like, dude, I can't let my son doesn't know how to shave himself, so can you shave? But he magnifies what we sometimes take for granted. It's not fault of our own. If you have your arms, you never miss them. But he just reminds you of the blessings that we all have. And the guys, he became the first driver in the history of Brazil. He changed Brazilian law. This is the country of 200 million people. He changed Brazilian law to become the first person to be able to drive a car with no arms or legs. Mm-hmm. And he drives now. He called me, he picked me up in Rio de Janeiro, and he drove me to Sao Paulo. It's one of the most incredible experiences because this dude is like a 15-year-old with a new car. And it was quite the impressive experience, more like a roller coaster. But he broke through that. I mean, he's a driver now.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
And he's a lawyer too. And I saw that. Yeah, I saw a lot of the videos you recently posted with him too. So great work with that, Cesar.
Yeah, so we're working with him. He also wants to bring our project to Brazil because he sees the need down there. So with him, partner up with us, other companies that are part of this journey, they're just it's a blessing. And it all started with scanning, document scanning. Our dealerships, being with us for some of them for more than 10 years and staying faithful to the platform, and obviously us doing our work and keep adding value. It goes beyond just a task. It is really impacting the world.
Well, Cesar, we're very grateful for you and for your friendship, and a lot of the great comments coming in tonight from folks like Clint and Jim Sabino and David and Sean Butler, and what a fitting time of year, Cesar, to have you on. Dealerscanning.com is Cesar's company, dealerscanning.com, and you can visit him there. You've probably seen him on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. You've seen the video commercials, and the sky's the limit, my friend. We got a lot going on. So congratulations to you. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, Cesar.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you guys as well. And Ted, thank you just always for your mentorship, always, opening up this industry to me as a young guy into the industry. I appreciate all the help and all the guidance you've given me, and these wonderful young ladies, to meet them today and to know that I know we'll know each other for a long time. And I just wish you nothing but the best. And I'm glad to see you guys here.
It was so
Thank
nice
you so
meeting you,
much.
Caesar.
Thank you.
Super stuff. All right. So Vanessa, I'm going to ask you again, if you give our audience one more reminder on the big event coming up. When is it? What is the cost to get in? And tell us about that, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So our next big event is the Knights of the Round Table. It is happening January 29th through February 1st. You can get your complimentary tickets. Yes, complimentary tickets now at fixedopsroundtable.com. So make sure to secure your seat at the round table.
Love it. So Vanessa, looks like a medieval theme, this one coming up.
It is medieval, all the Renaissance vibes, and we are just so excited for it.
Excited as well. Everybody, on behalf of Vanessa and Katrina, I'm Ted Ings. Thank you for coming tonight. We're going to see you Monday here. We have a lot of great shows coming up this month and next. Caesar, thank you for everything. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you guys for giving me an opportunity to speak and share our foundation and our mission. And thank you for everything, Ted.
Yeah, no better friend in the industry than Caesar Augustus, everybody. Dealerscanning.com. Check them out. We'll see you all on Monday night.
Good night.